just gonna wipe off my face, all my moisturizer off. This morning, so I have a bare, naked face for this video. Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to do a follow-up on the IPL and silk peel video that I posted a couple of weeks ago. It's been several weeks since I had that procedure, probably, I want to say about 3 weeks. I have a little bit of footage that I'm going to insert a little bit later on from a day or two after the procedure, so you could see full bloom what my face looked like. And I will wrap up by telling you my thoughts about this and moving forward. So just as a reminder for what I did, I started off with a silk peel, which it's like a microdermabrasion treatment, and that happened all over my face. And what that does is it kind of sloughs off the top layer of skin, and it enhances the look and texture of your skin. And I really do feel like it did that. The second procedure I had was a spot treatment with an IPL, an intense pulse light laser, and I had a little spot here treated and primarily some broken capillaries around my nose. So I'm going to start by inserting the footage that I took, and I don't recall now without looking at the footage. It was probably a day or two after the procedure was done, and everything on my face that was touched is pretty apparent. So it is the day after, and I didn't anticipate filming anymore, but this spot here has really changed quite a bit, and I wanted to share that with you. So I'm going to go ahead and get in a little closer. I also have a lot of redness here where she's at with those capillaries, so let me go ahead and zoom in. This spot has really gotten a lot darker, and I think that's fairly typical after IPL, that the areas that you treat, it'll bring that pigmentation to the surface and make it darker, and then that'll either slough off or recede and be even lighter than before. So it's one of those things where you look a little worse before you look a little better, I hope. And it looks like I might have a little bit of blistering, but I have quite a bit of redness here where I had all those broken capillaries. So I am going to zoom in and let you see how my face looks today. So this is the area that I had treated with the IPL. It was a pretty dark spot on my face there that was really quite difficult to even cover with foundation or concealer. I noticed it quite a bit. I'm sure not everybody else did, but it did really bother me quite a bit. And the other areas I had done were these here around my nose. And I still have quite a bit of redness there now. But I primarily had wanted to see if I could improve the way the broken capillaries look around my nose. Let me get a little tighter for that. So I do think that right here, this area is improved a little bit. I'm not sure here or on the sides of my nose are vastly improved. She did say it might take more than one treatment. So I'll have to decide if that's something I want to do or not. So I would say after the treatment, the next day, this spot here really bloomed. It got some darker areas on it, and that's part of the process. It turns dark, and then eventually that either sloughs off or fades away. I'm not really sure which. It always felt like skin. It never felt like a scab, but it became very discolored. It probably wasn't terribly noticeable with makeup on. A coworker of mine who's had IPL done before noticed right away that that's what I had had done, but no one else mentioned it. If they noticed, they didn't say anything. So I do think it was a little bit noticeable, and I had filmed a couple of videos during that time, so you might actually be able to tell which ones those are. But, you know, life goes on. You know, it's part of the healing process. That took about almost exactly 1 week for that to go full circle, from treatment date to the spots coming out to them sloughing and fading off, and then they were gone. So that took about a week. These areas here around my nose took considerably longer, and when she treated those areas, she did increase the intensity of the light, and I could tell it was much stronger. And I think I may have mentioned in my first video that, you know, I could smell something burning, and she said, oh, that's the little hairs on your face. A lot of people notice that. It's kind of a byproduct of having the treatment. I actually think that I got burned a little bit because I ended up developing some blisters. Pretty big one over here, smaller one over here, that took quite a long time to heal. And I ended up, at some point, I was starting to get a little worried about them because it was over a week. And I started putting a little Neosporin on them at night, and that really helped turn them around very quickly. So once those blisters healed, then some of the redness has subsided. I would say the redness has decreased by about 50%. So I'm hoping that the general redness I see around my nose will continue to improve. So when I go back to see her, I will ask her about that a little bit more and get a little more information about that, because I don't know if that's typical or not typical, and how many treatments she would think it might take to totally eradicate the capillaries, or even if it's possible. So probably the next burning question you all have is, what are my plans moving forward for additional treatments and additional options? So first off, I'm going to talk about the Botox that I mentioned. At this point, I'm probably not going to proceed with the Botox. I might later on. I need to think about it a little bit longer, and I want to see if I can improve those fine lines with some retin-A treatment. I would think I'd feel slightly more comfortable with that avenue first. And as far as the silk peel, I really liked that. I really thought it made my skin look, I felt it had a good impact on the texture of my skin. It wasn't invasive at all. It wasn't painful at all. It was just a little strange feeling, like, you know, that cat with an extra scratchy tongue and vacuuming you at the same time. So I didn't mind that procedure as much, and I felt like that there could be additional benefits there. And when I look at before and after pictures of people who've had that, you know, several treatments over a course of months, their results are pretty dramatic. And so I'm willing to commit to doing that for the next couple of months.